Good evening and welcome to the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Realistic Performance League for the Austrian Grand Prix. I am Tim, back with my co-commentator, as always, Malk. How are you doing today?
You're alright, Tim. I'm doing very well, mate. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine and waiting to arrive at the Red Bull Ring for the Austrian Grand Prix. It is going to be a cracker of a race, at least if anything, if we can draw from what happened on Tuesday. Then if anything, we're going to be on the edge of our seats.
Oh my god. Yeah, Tuesday was an absolute mad race in the F2 League on the PlayStation platform because it was I keep saying it's a mad race because we've been told by the weather crew it was going to be a wet race. But what they didn't tell us, the weather crew, it's not their fault or anything like that, but what they didn't tell us was the tyres that we're starting on was the dry compounds. You heard me right, ladies and gentlemen. The dry compounds, and it was absolutely mad. And we did not. People were gambling for the intermediates, but it didn't work out, did it, Tim?
No, it did not. A few drivers did gamble on the intermediate tires, but they really did not have a lot of significant pace. So it rained the entire race, yet somehow, for the entire race, these drivers were on the slick tires. So we were still seeing drivers go from soft to mediums and medium to softs, and there were even people asking us, how are they on dry tires? And we didn't know what to tell them. But it still did not disappoint as far as entertainment is concerned. It was a fantastic race, and maybe, just maybe tonight, we will have another one like that, or maybe we'll have one like Silverstone from last week and get a new first-time winner in the Invictus Racing League's Realistic Performance League. Last week in Silverstone, Eric Pancakes, who unfortunately cannot be here with us tonight, won his very first race, and he was over the moon, wasn't he, Malk?
He was absolutely delighted, and he did a still of a drive, Eric Pancakes, if I remembered it right. He driven a magnificent race at the home of the British Grand Prix as well. So, are we going to see? Correct me if I'm wrong. I think this is going to. Could we get a sixth different winner tonight? Could we get a sixth different winner in the Performance League tonight?
That is very possible. But here is your updated point standings after Silverstone. Party Trev and O. Steven tied for first on the board with 75 points each, 73 points belonging to Carrera-Fan in third. Carrera-Fan, part of Jeff's new friends, Livingwall, who unfortunately cannot be here with us as well tonight, part of Lost in Pace. He is in fourth with 70 points, but we expect him to maybe drop down the standings tonight since he was not able to attend. And in Soldierstone, in fifth with 66 points. The entire top five in the standings are separated by only 9 points. And when you turn over to the constructor standings, you get an even bigger surprise as Soldierstone and Carrera-Fan, part of Jeff's new friends, some of the newer drivers added to the Realistic Performance League, are actually leading the constructors with 135 points. In second is Lost in Pace with Livingwall and Keza as the drivers, 122 points. And then third with 117 points are Nitrotech Racing with Wojtek and Nitrogash. So no matter how you look at it, we are getting tight points battles all across the board.
Absolutely, and this is what we love about the Performance League, because it's getting close with some of the drivers, and they've had to produce the goods. And to be fair though, I think we're going to have some more epic scenery at the Austrian Grand Prix. And correct me if I'm wrong, Tim, we are looking like we're having a cloudy start at the qualifying, so I'm just going to try and find out if we're going to get more info from the weather crew, if we are going to get another wet race, or dry tyres, wet conditions scenario again. Do you think that will happen?
I really don't think that's going to happen, Malk. I think that was a once-in-a-lifetime race that you and I had the pleasure to commentate on, and I just do not see it happening again. It does look very cloudy, very muggy, but definitely not moist out there on the track, so that is very apparent from the onboard of Carrera-Fan, and we'll ride onboard with him through the second and third sectors until he starts his lap. He was the first driver out, so he will be the first flying lap driver on the medium tires too.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, Tim, the medium tyres are, I would love to start on, to be fair, because they're easier and trying to give you long durability, shall we say, or long on the tyre wear itself. But with the softs, they can wear out very quickly, but it can give you an advantage in the qualifying as well. So we're just watching Career Fan now, who's just coming up to turn one. Turn one's going to be a bit of a penalty scenario. Then we come up to the DRS, first of many of the DRSs that we have got. Then he's got a 16.315, so you're aiming to hit the 16s to get a qualifying time. Passing to turn 3, then into the second DRS straight, coming to turn 4 in the second sector. And this is a part where you have to heavy brake just after the banner itself. Then going down it, feel like you're on a roller coaster ride itself. And then come to turn 5, 6. This is the 6th turn now. And then end on the second sector, we did a 45.6 from Career Fan, then into turn 7. Then that little bit of a kick into turn 8. And then this is the part where people will need to be aware of. If you go into the pits, you have to stay on the right hand side, otherwise you have to get out of the way for all the drivers to get passes into turn 9 and now 10. And then the third and last of the DRS, and 105.755, Tim.
So that's the time to beat. Steven goes to 106.257 on the medium tires. And while we're in qualifying, I want to talk a little bit about a topic that we brought up last week but couldn't really elaborate on, and that is the winningest drivers in the Realistic Performance League. Now, I'm actually looking at the statistics sent to me earlier, and we have what looks to be 3 drivers tied for the most wins in this series. DeLange, Scopefielder, some of you may remember him, and Yas. Some of you also may remember Yas. Those 3 drivers are tied for 7 wins apiece in this series. In the race today, Sir Spud has 6 wins. So if he wins 2 races this season, then he will be the winningest driver in the Realistic Performance League. Here is Sir Spud on your screen. He has just now completed his qualifying lap, a 106.547 in that Red Bull. And if you notice, the Red Bull is looking a little bit different this week because they are running the white livery to commemorate Honda.
Absolutely, I quite love that. I love that livery itself. And yeah, they should keep it more often, to be fair, because it's just absolutely insane, to be fair. So yeah, it's in memory of Honda itself, and what a way to commemorate it as well. So I believe we've got a return driver coming into the qualifying as well, and the famous Ryback also coming back. So what's your thoughts of him coming back into the stages of the Performance League? Do you think it's going to be a bit of a tough ask to get your momentum back in the racing itself?
It's definitely going to be tough for Rymac to get used to this series again. Of course, Rymac raced with us, quite a while ago, so it's good to see him finally back after not being able to make the first 5 races of the season. He may not be able to make the qualifying as well. Actually, no, he has made the qualifying. Just now, I've noticed that he has been able to join us and on the board. He was updating the game prior to this. He's still in the pits, though, so we can't take a look at him. But we wish Rymac the best, and we're glad to have him back in the Realistic Performance League.
Absolutely. It's good to see him back in the racing and see if he can try and compete against some of the drivers that are on the track as well. And Keza has done a 105.053 on the soft tyre. And Soldier Stone, who's one of the drivers, is in the constructors leaderboard as well. He's done a 105.4, but on the medium tyre on the Ferrari as well. So Jujutaka in third with a 105.5 on the softs as well. So correct me if I'm wrong, Tim. Are we going to, looking at the times that we are seeing, I know it's early doors and you can tell me off or anything like that, but do you think we are going to hit the 104.5s as a push tonight? Do you reckon?
I actually think that we will, Malk. It's just a little bit over 11 minutes remaining in this session as Russman already goes to a 104.6, so that answers my question right there. No doubt this track is going to get so much faster by the time the qualifying session ends.
Absolutely. Right. That is not a commentator's curse. That is a commentator's guess. Spot on that, nearly. 104.6. Well done to Russman, actually. What a drive from the Mercedes driver, correct me if I'm wrong. So, I'm just watching Keza now. Keza must have spun at, I believe, turn 8. So hopefully he'll try. Oh my god, he's spun again. try and get back into the pits. He's going to be careful with the other driver. I think that is Wojtek as well. Wojtek, who he's just doing his out lap now. I think he's about to start his proper lap now. So Wojtek, who, correct me if I'm wrong, Tim, I think he missed quite a few races, unless I'm mistaken. Yeah, he has missed 2 races, and because he was one of those drivers to watch out for in the first 3 races, he's dropped himself right down the pecking order just a bit. So do you think he'll bounce back, or do you think he'll have problems?
I think he'll bounce back now. Wojtek, like you said, he's only been out for 2 races, and he was able to make the first, I guess, 3 races of the year, then missed the last 2. So good to have him back. I don't think he's going to have a lot of problems with bouncing back and getting the feel of this car, unless he just does not like the Red Bull Ring. That is a possibility. If this is not his track, if it just doesn't agree with him, then it doesn't matter how long he has been racing or how long he's been out of the car. If he doesn't like the track, he just doesn't like the track. So we will see how he does. He went purple in the second sector, so that could be a good sign. We're right on board with him for the remainder of the lap. Through this final corner, uses a little bit of curve there, but did not scrub off any speed. Crosses the line, and he will go to third, a 105.264. I think he likes the track.
I think so too, Tim. I think so too. That is insane, that from Wojtek. Just watching Speed Queen now. She's in 16th with no time at all, obviously. She's just doing her lap now, so... But hopefully she'll try and get into the top 10 as quickly as possible. Speed Queen, her best finish was 3rd place in Canadian Grand Prix. That was back in round 4. It looks like Speed Queen did a 1:11.007, so she must have had a mistake at some part of the track, but hopefully she'll bounce back and try and close the gap into the times. But look at those times, Tim. From Russman all the way down to Rymack, it was like 1.3 seconds. That's mad. That's absolutely mad, Tim.
And I think it's even more crazy, the gap between first and second. There you see Russman, your provisional pole sitter at the moment, out on track for his outlap. Keza still in the pits, but that is almost half a second separating those 2 drivers. Russman, definitely the man with the plan here today. He has got some speed. We need to keep our eye on this Mercedes.
Oh yeah, definitely. You have to watch out for Russman at the moment. Obviously, Russman, he's on a good run at the minute. Obviously, at 4th. I think he had 8th or 9th. Correct me if I'm sorry, 8th or 7th. I think it was. Can't remember. But Speed Queen does improve her time, Tim, and moves up to 6th with a 105.308.
And now Russman starts his flying lap as Ginger Tiger just set the second quickest time with a 104.873. Russman now out of turn number 1, opens up the DRS, and let's see what he is able to do in this Mercedes. Already on provisional pole, so not much more he can do except just get that lap time a little bit quicker.
Absolutely. Hopefully he'll try and get a lot quicker. I'm just watching Career Fan quickly, and he moves up to 5th with a 105.170, Tim.
Russman down into turn 4. The Alpine got in his way a little bit, but tried to get out. I think that was Matty. So Matty was off the track trying to get out of Russman's way. Might not have impeded his lap at all. But Russman just looking forward now in the 3rd sector. Let's see what he is able to do. Remember, a 104.605 is his best lap time, but he's going to be trying to beat it. Uses a lot of curb there, might have scrubbed off some speed. Does he go quicker? He crosses the line, and he does not go quicker. It's still a 105.60 or 104.605.
I don't know where you got that extra second from, Tim. I'd like to know that. As well, so don't worry, we'll let you off just this one. So, Saab has retired from the qualifying. I think what he's trying to do is he's just trying to use those extra tyre to that advantage of the Austrian Grand Prix, and it is beneficial, obviously, to try and get onto the mediums as well. So someone's crossed over the line. I think it was. Well, Career Fan did a 105.016, so he moves up slowly. Soulstone is the 104.9, Tiger 104.8, CP on, I believe CP. This is his debut race. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yes, this debut race for the Austrian Grand Prix, and moved up to third with a 104.890, 2/10 off the qualifying leader of Russman, Tim.
A good time for CP, and in his debut race, it's got to feel good so far. Watching Keza in the second sector, entering the third sector now, going through those S's, using every bit of curb, and goes off the track and validates his lap. You cannot go through the grass there, so Keza is going to have to pull into the pits and try one more time. Meanwhile, Sir Spud, he has set the fastest lap on the medium tires, a 105.027. However, he is the only driver to choose the medium tires so far, so it's kind of by default that he's the fastest medium tire runner. Nonetheless, good enough for 6th place at the moment. That is no slouch of a time. I will keep my eye on that Red Bull tonight.
We'll have to wait and see how it all goes for Sir Spud. Hopefully he'll try and bounce back as quickly as possible. But I'm watching Zelchko Jablik, who's got a purple sector on the first one by 2/10 on his best time. So at the moment, a 104.8 as it stands, so 104.8. So let's see what you can try and do in the second sector. Come to turn 6, or nearly 4/10 quicker. 4/10 quicker. So at the moment, could be a 104.6. The way it stands, depending on how Jablik can try and come up to the last few corners at turns 9 and 10. This is the part where he needs to push that pedal to the metal. And he's done it! 104.7. The two Mercedes are locked in top 2, Tim.
And that was so close for Zelchko Jablik. He does have enough time to get back around the track and put on a fresh set of softs and go one more time. But remember, he got the pole last week in Silverstone, so those 2 bonus points were his. Today, they might be Russman's, his car-allocated teammate, but not necessarily his actual teammate. Of course, the way we do it in the Realistic Performance League is that even though you are in a Mercedes and another driver is in the Mercedes, it doesn't mean that that driver is your teammate. It just means that that driver has been allocated to that car. The faster drivers are allocated to the slower cars, and then the slower drivers are allocated to the faster cars so that we can even out the racing field and have the most fair racing that we can possibly have in this league. And it has worked very well thus far. Zelchko Jablik in the Mercedes. He was in the Red Bull last week, and he is driving for Hesketh Hunters, which actually, ironically, Russman turns out to be his teammate this time. So it's a rare occurrence where 2 drivers who are teammates are also allocated to the same car, but that is not the case necessarily for every driver in the field.
Absolutely. It all depends on the pace of each of the drivers, and depending on how they've done in the previous week as well. So it can be a mixed scenario as well. But Jablik did well, if I remember it right, back in Silverstone. He was just a bit unlucky on some points of the track. But as I said, we had the lockdown of the Mercedes, but CP has split the Mercedes. It would have had top 2 Mercedes, and then 3rd and 4th was the McLarens. Then now CP has split the Mercedes crew in, moved up to 2nd place with a 104.649, missed out by 400 of a second of pole position. And Silverstone is 4 thousandths quicker on his first sector, so at the moment could be 104.8, 897. Or 100th quicker on his second sector time. So the way it looks at the minute, he could be close to move up to 4th, depending on how he can try and do it. Coming up to the last few corners, he needs to get a good exit. Oh, he's had a little bit of bump, but that might be alright. 104.8. Yes, he does. He moves up to 4th, Tim.
Silverstone 5th in the standings entering this race, looking for a good run, could possibly take the points lead today, but it's going to be a big ask for him. Nonetheless, he can gain on his competitors. Meanwhile, Russman out on his outlap, and we were talking about how sometimes your teammate is not going to be in the same car as you. Well, Soldierstone's in the Ferrari. His teammate is Carrera Fan, and he is in the Aston Martin, who is on his flying lap now. Of course, remember, these 2 drivers drive for Jeff's New Friends. That is their constructor name. But Carrera Fan being in the Aston Martin and Soldierstone being in the Ferrari, apparently Carrera Fan is just slightly faster than Soldierstone, but not in this session necessarily. As Carrera Fan crosses the line, he improves his time, but does not bump his teammate down a spot on the board. A 104.928 for Carrera Fan.
Absolutely. So see how you can try and do. Purple sector on Wojtek on by 2/10, so he could be close to the top three. You've got yellow players that might be one of the Mercedes and possibly one of the Ferraris trying to get back himself in. But I don't know if you just see, but Jablik has got a 5-place grid penalty for illegal blocking, so I'm not sure what actually happened from him. 104.9 for Wojtek, so at the moment he moves himself up to 7th place. But again, Jablik will drop down to at least 9th place. And the others that are underneath, Soderstone, Korefan, Wojtek, Spud, Keza, yeah, they'll be the ones that will move up unless anything changes, Tim.
Not sure what happened with Zelchko Jablik there. Did not get to see it, but hopefully we can get more information on that later on. But watching Russman come around the final corner for his final flying lap, and he crosses the line. Does he improve his time? Yes, he does. A 104.322 for Russman and the Mercedes.
He needed that. He needed that because the on-charge of the McLarens, we've getting closer and closer than ever before. Ginger Tiger did a 104.7, CP did a 104.6, so it's getting close. It's getting close. But Russman, absolutely brilliant stuff. And I believe the qualifying is finished. And I was going to say Rymax in the top 10 at the moment, depending on how everything goes. But yeah, what a good. I thought that was a good comeback, shall we say, for Rymac to get himself back into the mid-pack in 10th place.
I think so, but it's still possible that he could be bumped out. O'Steven is on a lap now through the 3rd sector in the Alpina. Remember, O'Steven is tied for first in the standings with Party Trev, who has not even set a lap time in this session. But O'Steven rounding the final corner now. Let's see what he can do as he crosses the line. He will go to 15th. No improvement there. O'Steven, a 105.622. Now let's take a look at Keza. Here is Keza, but it was actually CP who was on a lap in the McLaren. Oh, and he is spun. CP is spun, so he will not improve his time. A 104.649 for him, and he has been disqualified from the session. He is spun, and he lost his front wing. All he was trying to do was get the car turned around so he could speed off and go back to the pits. That was not the case. He got disqualified.
I feel like that's really hard done by the officials. He was trying to get himself back onto the racing track and obviously try and get back onto it as quickly as possible. But that is a bit harsh from the officials.
Well, if we're going to be honest, it's just the software of this game that that basically makes this glitch happen, and it is wrong. And Invictus, sadly, we cannot do anything about it. We don't have live stewarding, so sadly, we cannot overturn that penalty. It's just an unfortunate circumstance. But here is your official starting lineup for the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Realistic Performance League Austrian Grand Prix. Russman on the pole in the Mercedes with Ginger Tiger in 2nd. Zelchko Jablik in 3rd, but he does have a 5-place grid penalty. Soldierstone in 4th. Carrera Fan in 5th. 6th is Wojtek. Sir Spud in 7th. 8th is Keza. 9th is Rymac. 10th is Speed Queen 80. Maddie in 11th. 12th is Turok. 13th is Nitrogash. 14th O'Steven. Sab in 15th. Party Trev in 16th. And 17th is CP 911959 after that unfortunate disqualification.
Yeah, unfortunately for CP, he'll have to work his way through the traffic again to get himself perfect. But Jablik will drop down to 8th, while the others have slowly moved up to a place. So Soderstone, Carrera, Wojtek, Spud, and Keza. And I believe, that's it. Those guys will be moving up by a position itself. So it's interesting stuff. But if you are watching the stream, good evening to you all. I hope everyone's all came well and enjoying their Thursday evening on the Invictus Racing League, the Performance League on the PlayStation platform. Absolutely unbelievable season. If you are watching the stream, please make sure you like and subscribe to the Invictus Racing League YouTube channel for all the live races itself. And also, we're aiming for at least 10 likes tonight, guys. We're aiming for at least 10 likes. Will be a massive help to us as the commentators, as well as the Invictus Racing League in general. Please, guys, be a massive help to the stream, massive help for us. Thank you so much, guys.
And this is the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Realistic Performance League Austrian Grand Prix, brought to you in partnership by Gridfinder.com, Nailcoat Hall, Driver61, and GT Omega. Big thank you to our sponsors for jumping on board, supporting the streams, and the league as a whole. And while we wait on the drivers to choose their preferred race strategy, it is time for our top 3 predictions.
I hate you when you did that. I hate you when you did that. It's very tough. It's very, very tough because you've got very, very good drivers who have been absolutely stellar of a job, to be fair. I think if Russman starts off well, then I would say him. I'm going to say Russman. This is going to be tough. Russman. Career fan. And Soldier Stone.
Mine will look very similar, except I'm going to go with Ginger Tiger, Carrera Fan, and Soldier Stone in any particular order.
Absolutely. And correct me if I'm wrong, Tim, I think because there's been a few issues with the lobby itself, I think we are about to do a new lobby. Yes, we are. We are going to be doing a new lobby restart. So we are going to be starting a new lobby, Tim.
All right, so just bear with us a sec, guys. We will have to jump over to that new lobby before we get the race underway. And as soon as I get an invite, I will be able to go over and we will be able to continue the stream. The stream will not stop. We are still here. We are still talking with you. And we are just as anxious as you are to get the race underway.
Oh, absolutely. You're absolutely eager to try and get yourselves to find out who will try and win the Austrian Grand Prix. And it's absolutely insane. And I think we are going to be for a classic. I think we are going to be on for a classic race. Because Austrian is a short track. Don't get me wrong, it is a short track. But at the same time, you have to be at your very, very best. And if you don't get your very, very best, you will lose out massively. And in Austria, you could get lapped. And if you don't mess about, just don't get a lot of penalties, because this track is penalties galore, Tim.
And especially in the first corner, that is going to be one that you need to watch out for. That's going to be a corner that a lot of people are going to be picking up time penalties, as well as the last corner, because you can either cut it a little bit too much or you can go too wide on both of them. And if you go too wide, of course, you're going to get that warning for exceeding track limits, and 3 of those, you get 3 seconds worth of time penalties, and that is going to be very detrimental to your race because that will be added on at the end of the race. You cannot serve a 3-second time penalty in the pits. You can serve 5 seconds, you can serve 10 seconds. Obviously, you can serve a drive-through. You cannot serve 3 seconds.
Yeah, you can't serve the 3 seconds. It's by the rules, and it always has been since day one. But overall, I think we are coming up to, should be coming up for the new lobby in a moment or two, guys. So bear with us a sec. We are going to be on for you guys in a matter there, in about 5 minutes or so. But while we're waiting for the new lobby to come in, what's your thoughts of this season overall, Tim? Based on the standings that we are seeing at the minute, while we're waiting for the lobby to kick in. So. At the moment, obviously, Poly 75, Career Fan 73 points, Livingwall 70 points, Substone, I believe, 66 points. So, I've been really impressed with some of the new guys to get into the top 5 as well, and some newcomers as well that have already in the Invictus Racing League, the Performance League. But what's your overall review at nearly the halfway point, nearly?
Well, you were talking about the newcomers, which is Jeff's new friends, being Carrera Fan and Soldier Stone. And I have to say that I'm impressed with them as well. If you look at the standings, both of them have missed 1 race apiece, and yet somehow they've been able to be consistent enough to where they can just be on top of the constructor standings and be out there each and every week fighting for podiums, fighting for points, fighting for wins. They're very impressive at the moment.
Oh, absolutely. Just waiting to see what's going to happen so far from those guys, because they need to be at their very, very best. And at the moment, I've been really impressed with their driving and their skills to try and get themselves into the top 5 as well. But Polytrev, who I've known racing with him in the F3 League last season in the PlayStation platform.
And Malk, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we are going to have to stop the stream. I'm having troubles getting into this session, and that means I'm going to have to restart the application to make this work. So we will have to stop the stream momentarily. We will be back with you in just a couple of minutes.